Popular content theft site Reddit has made a strategy choice so stupid I can only surmise that Ferrari's strategy team is consulting for them. This is a Formula One channel, but this affects us all, so I'll do my best to explain everything in terms that you'll understand, and if you don't get the F1 references, I'll explain them in text at the bottom of the screen. If you woke up today and were wondering why you couldn't see your favorite subreddits like r Formula One, the answer is actually pretty simple. Many subreddits have gone dark in response to Reddit's recent actions. Reddit, a site which marries the blatant content theft of eBaum's world with the toxicity of niche internet forums, has decided to start charging for its API. API, or Application Programming Interface, is the method by which other programs interface with the website. As a result of Reddit's API being free, many third-party developers created their own apps for browsing Reddit, like Reddit is Fun and Apollo, and this all came up back when Reddit's mobile interface was garbage and they didn't have a first-party reader app of their own. Reddit has their own first-party app now, and if Reddit apps were F1 cars, the first-party app would be a Williams. And rather than compete on merit, they found a convenient reason to shut down all of their competition. The Paul DiResta of the business world, Elon Musk, did something similar earlier this year when he shut down all third-party apps' access to Twitter's API during the dumpster fire that was his tenure as Twitter's CEO. I have no idea why, but Reddit's CEO saw how Musk handled the situation and decided it would be a good idea to do the same thing, but rather than being honest about his intentions, like Musk was, they've decided to just charge such an absurd price for Reddit's API access that nobody could pay it even if they wanted to. Here's the thing, API is used for a lot more than just third-party Reddit reader apps. There are a lot of moderating tools that use the API to make life easier for Reddit's volunteer moderators. And it seems like Reddit's management is ignoring the fact that Reddit only really works because losers are willing to work for free moderating the site in exchange for that tiny little bit of authority that they get so that they can go on power trips, which make them feel good and big. They work in exchange for the ability to power trip with impunity. For example, this is the meme that got me banned from r Formula Dank. Remember, when you rely on volunteer labor, you get what you get, so even if the quality of moderation on Reddit is terrible, unless they intend to start paying for labor, they need to start doing a better job of labor relations with their unpaid workers. It all gets a lot worse though. The creator of the third-party app Apollo recorded his interactions with Reddit's CEO, so imagine how surprised he was when Reddit's CEO went on Reddit in an Ask Me Anything and claimed that he was threatened by the creator of Apollo. This guy had receipts though, so Apollo's creator published the interactions, which show that at worst, not only did he not threaten them, he basically just offered to sell Reddit the app if they were going to go through with this. In response, Reddit's CEO questioned the character of somebody who would publish private interactions, which is a classic asshole caught in a lie move, but the part that he doesn't realize is that by lying about these interactions and trying to claim that there was some threats made in them, he was the one who was publishing the private interactions. The main issue that Reddit is failing to realize here is that they are not unique. They did not innovate, they did not create this space. They merely replaced Dig, who replaced StumbleUpon, who replaced eBaum's world before them. Reddit is, at its core, a content theft site, just like all of the ones that came before them. Reddit requires that no more than 10% of your posts be original content that you created. And the only reason that I can figure for them to do that is because they don't want creators engaging with the site as creators, because people who create content want to be compensated for their efforts. So just like every other platform where they share their content, they expect to receive some form of compensation for the work they put in. Reddit doesn't want to pay them. So what they do instead is they've created a community where you're only allowed to share content that you've found. At first, this wasn't so problematic because what they would do is just link to the original content. So if you had a webcomic, somebody would link to your webcomic. If you had a YouTube video, they would link to the YouTube video. You would still get the ad revenues from putting ads on your work. You would still get the views. It all seemed like it was kind of okay, even if it still felt like they were stealing. But now that Reddit hosts images and videos in-house, they've gotten so much worse. Not only are they stealing the content, but they're preventing creators from getting the revenue that they would have received from those views. By doing all this, Reddit has solidified their status as a content theft site and skirted the issue of compensating the people whose work they're monetizing. And monetization of Reddit is another core issue here. Reddit has an IPO coming up, so they're doing all of the greasy shit that they can to increase their stock price. They laid off 5% of their staff as an offering to the hedgies, and they're muscling out their competitions so that they can monopolize how their stolen content is consumed and monetized. Further to all that, large language model AI is super hot right now, and a lot of them were trained off of Reddit using their API. Because where else can you find so many natural human interactions? Understandably, Reddit feels like they own these interactions and doesn't like the idea of other businesses trying to make money off of them, especially if it means Reddit's servers have to handle the increased load from these AI companies accessing their API. And fair enough. Hosting a ton of content you didn't create is expensive business. Reddit, on the other hand, is now making ad revenue and API revenue off of the stolen content that they host. Naturally, this has made a lot of people very upset. Personally, I was more offended by Reddit's actions than Team LH after Abu Dhabi 2021. I decided to go on my old Reddit account and shut down every subreddit that I've ever created, and if I'd had more of a life in my early 20s, that would have been much easier than I thought it was going to be. But here's the thing, a lot of these subreddits that get shut down are never going to get put back up because I'm not a loser anymore, so I don't have time to moderate Reddit like I used to, and I'm probably not going to bother going back and taking a lot of these subreddits that I set to private and switching them back. In fact, a lot of people aren't going to do that, not because they don't want to, but because the moderation tools that they used for accessibility reasons, or just because it was more convenient, or because they didn't like Reddit's first-party tools, are just not going to work anymore. So why would they bother to put their communities back online? So unfortunately, like a lot of things on the internet, these subreddits and all of their posts are going to be lost to time forever. This blackout is only supposed to last for 2 days, but I'm hoping that it kicks off the end of Reddit. Just as Reddit replaced Dig, who replaced StumbleUpon, who replaced eBaum's World before it, something new will come along and become the internet's new haven for the unholy marriage between stolen content and niche internet forums.